Spencer and Eugene are aiming to make Applejack liquor.
Did you write with these apples?
Yeah, he sure did.
But a snowstorm put a serious crimp in their plans.
It's probably not a good idea to be climbing around this rusty roof in the middle of a thunderstorm.
The storms passed through overnight, but the delay has cost the boys valuable time. If they don't want those apples to go rotten, they got to get a move on.
First thing we got to do is get the roof fixed up. And the tin has been blown off of it, and there's some framing issues. We got a lot of work to do on that. The shed, when we get it fixed, is going to be a perfect place to make our Applejack. Gonna be long enough? Oh, yeah.
It goes over about 1.5 to 2 feet on the other side.
Yep.
The idea here is to take the stuff that's lying around and fix the roof. The boys need to make sure that they overlap the peak so that it don't leak. Because it is dug so far into the ground, the temperature will stay pretty constant.
Once the roof got secured, now we're on to building furniture. So he's got a lot of old wood that he's not using, and so we're just going to kind of reclaim that and build some useful stuff out of it, like some benches and a shelf and things that we'll be able to use and store food in.
All right, all we got to do is stack the blocks on there, you know, 2 blocks high, and put a shelf. Spencer and I are making use of everything I've got on my property, and we're going to go up there and collect a few cinder blocks to make our shelves out of.
You know, I ended up getting wrapped into fixing up this old shed, all this furniture, and cutting and tromping around in the mud. But what I came here to do today is make some drink, you know, make some Applejack.
Yep, that'll work.
Yeah, this shed's real dark. Half of it's underground. So Eugene had this old television front.
Look, Spencer, I'm on TV.
That'll make a good skylight right there.
Yep.
So we're just going to kind of reclaim that and cut a little square up there, and we got a skylight.
Yeah, we'll just grab a little bit of that caulk and run along the top side there and the bottom.
A little bit of hillbilly ingenuity has given this place just a bit more light. Now they can finally get to doing what brought them out here in the first place.
They got a little cold. We're going to have to make this stuff soon.
We've got several crates of apples over there, and I don't have any kind of a stew pot or cook pot large enough, so I'm going to use an old bathtub that I've got over there on the side of the yard.
Oh, watch out. Don't get under it.
By setting the tub up on crates, the boys will have an easier job of crushing the apples and getting the juice into a bucket.
Oh, perfect.
First, they got to crush the apples. Once they get the juice, they'll ferment it using yeast and add spices such as cinnamon and ginger. It's just a couple of minutes before the boys realize it'll take a month of Sundays before they have enough juice.
I don't see any juice going out into that bucket. I mean, there's like maybe a teaspoon. This kind of sucks. You know somebody with a weed eater?
My friend Steve's got a wood chipper.
Wood chipper?
Grind that whole stack up for about 2 minutes. It's starting to get late. Why don't we just wrap this up and grab that chipper in the morning and do it like that?
We'll have to put these in the shed, cover up the door and the window or something so it doesn't freeze them in there and bust them all up. We won't get to use them tomorrow.
The boys definitely have a problem on their hands. One bad apple could ruin the whole bunch, and that ain't just an old saying. When an apple starts to ripen, it releases a gas called ethylene. That gas causes a chain reaction from one apple to the next. This project could turn out to be one big bust.
It's about time we make something out of this adventure. We got cut off last night from the snow and freezing temperatures that were coming in. Now we're cut off by the end of the day.
We'll grind them apples up and we'll make some Applejack tomorrow.
That wood chipper will cheer me up, I do believe.
The boys have a whole lot of work ahead of them if they want to save them apples. Hopefully, Steve can help.
Morning, Valors.
Hey, good morning, brother. How you doing?
Doing good.
You couldn't have a better neighbor than Steve. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever know. He's the kind of guy that's there when you need it. It can be raining, cold, whatever, and he's got your back.
Well, I hear you got a wood chipper we might can borrow.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
I'm gonna make some Applejack. And grind some apples up with it.
Well, you think that'll work?
Oh, yeah.
It'll work better than what we have, which is basically a sledgehammer and a machete.
Well, you're sure welcome to borrow it if you think it'll work.
Well, let's go take a look at this thing.
Yeah, let's look it over.
In these parts, folks wouldn't survive without relying on each other.
Yeah, there it is. It's been sitting there a little bit in the weather, but it ought to fire up all right.
Yeah, looks like it's still in good shape.
I guess I could take a little of that Applejack off your hand when you get it made.
All right, we can do that.
All right.
What in
Folks
tarnation?
around here will always trade for a little apple hooch.
Yeah, Applejack, it's a good drink around here and everything, and a lot of people likes it and drinks it, so yeah, it's definitely a good trade for sure. I'm glad they actually come by and we got to do some trading on that.
The boys seem well on their way now. The plan is to get the wood chipper on top of the tub so that it can grind the apples, and then they can let the juice come out of the drain. Just think of it as a hillbilly juicer.
You can see that?
Oh, that's pretty good. Yep.
Uh-oh. Did the boys trade Applejack for a lemon?
I guess we ain't grinding nothing if this damn thing don't start.
In the rush of wanting those apples juiced double quick, the boys done broke the first rule of bartering. Before you shake hands on the deal, make sure you ain't getting a dud.
Oh, give me a break.
Coming up, how many apples could a wood chipper chip if a wood chipper could chip apples?
Oh, jeez.
At Clorox 2,
What's
we've
he
turned
all
removing
so
stains
bad?
into a science.
Now pre-treat with Clorox 2.
Watch stains disappear right before your eyes. Nothing brightens colors and removes stains like Clorox 2.
Ready?
Yep, let's do this.
Hey, I'm Melissa Joan Hart.
And I'm Anthony Anderson. And guess what? The holiday season starts right now.
Yep, so head to Walmart now for unbeatable prices on food, decorations, and the top gifts of the season, all at unbeatable prices.
You can also go to Walmart.com to get what you need for the holidays. My man, Walmart's here to help you save money.
We traveled the road of generations, joined by a common bond. We sing our song across the Pony Nation from Equestria and beyond. We're apples forever, apples together. We're family, but so much more. No matter what comes, we will face the weather. We're apples to the core. There's no place that I'd rather be than traveling with my family. Friends all around come to join and see as we sing out across the land. We're apples forever, apples together. We're family, but so much more. No matter what comes, we will face the weather. We're apples to the core. We're peas in the pod, we're thick as thieves. Any cliche you can throw at me. We're here for each other through thick and thin. You're always welcome with your apple can. Whee! You're more fun than the color pink or balloons flying over your favorite drink. The love I feel here is swim, not sink, as we party across this land. We're apples forever, apples together. We're family, but so much more. No matter what comes, we will face the weather. We're apples to the core.
But all it's done is slow them down.
We ain't grinding nothing if this damn thing don't start.
Oh, give me a break. Has it got an on-off switch that we're missing here? Yeah, it's all the way up.
That wood chipper is a pain in the neck to get started. I've never had to try and pull on something like that to make it start.
He said this thing ran. I bet he hadn't cranked this thing up since last fall.
I think he let that wood chipper sit out in the weather a little longer than he let on. It's the real bear getting it
Oh,
going.
doggies.
Yeah, let me give it a
If you
couple
can take
cranks.
this bull
So I
by the
got the
horns,
magic touch.
you better be ready for a ride.
It's working now, so it's worth all the hassle beforehand.
Woo! How'd you do that?
No sooner do they get going when they see another problem.
We're wasting at least
piece of metal over the front right here.
Yeah, that works too.
So they drop down in.
Here's this little box.
Once again, the bounty of trash in Eugene's yard provides the answer.
Alrighty.
Well, it finally seems like the boys are in business.
Spencer and I've got a wood chipper and some apples. Are you serious? We're gonna have a little fun with it.
All right, Eugene impressed me a little bit with a backward shot. We might have wasted a couple apples, but it was a good time.
Woo!
2 bushels of apples later, the boys have about 5 gallons of juice. That's phase 1 of the process.
Spencer and I double strained the juice to make sure that there wasn't any debris or anything you didn't want in there, so that stuff should come out really good.
Yeah, just grab the yeast and the sugar, and we'll siphon it out of here and get it in that glass jar.
Next, Eugene adds his secret mixture of yeast. Then he throws in a big old heap of brown sugar. Those will kickstart the fermenting process. Then they just fill up the jar with the strained apple juice.
Eugene's apple-flavored chipper jack. Yeah, in 3 weeks we'll be drinking Applejack.
Finally, it's time to stash the jar in the restored root cellar. It'll be hard cider before you know it. While the yeast is working its magic down in Eugene's shed, the boys have some other chores to tend to.
It's like Isla's here. Afternoon, Miss Isla. How you doing today?
Around these parts, you never know when a neighbor is going to come calling.
I can't believe you came up that hill.
I brought something that I had plenty of. I had a lot of extra cabbage this year. And I figured that y'all could feed your families through the winter if you make sauerkraut.
I really love it when Isla Hatter stops by. She always brings cabbages and bell peppers and stuff like that. This time she showed up with cabbage for us to make some sauerkraut.
Well, there's tow sacks in the car full of cabbage, if you wouldn't mind hauling them over here. Out here, we are away from supplies and services and people that can do things for us, and we have to know how to do it ourselves. And if we don't, then a neighbor knows how.
It's gonna be great. We can use that pickling shack and just stick them down in there, and they can just stay down there and ferment with everything else we got fermenting down there.
Sauerkraut is a mountain staple that's easy to make. All it takes is a little salt, water, and cabbage, a pickling jar, and time for the fermenting process to work its magic.
I mean, look at that. That's one cabbage. That's a big old pile right there.
Now that the boys have finished chopping without losing any fingers, they can start stuffing the jars with cabbage and salt. This creates a brine.
And just shove it down in there, you know, pack it full.
Brine, along with absence of air, will grow beneficial bacteria that you can only get in fermented foods. Mountain folk have been fermenting foods since before anyone can remember.
You ready?
Yeah, let's get these down in the shed.
Eugene and Spencer's mountain ingenuity turned a good-for-nothing shed into a working root cellar, perfect for housing this bounty of sauerkraut. But as for their applejack, the boys still got work to do.
All right, that's the last one of those.
Coming up, did Eugene raise the stash before Spencer got back?
You didn't get into this without me, did you?
Next Monday on Discovery Family, enter an incredible kingdom. Twisted by time, shaped by the land, animals learn to survive in the Earth's harshest climates. They look bizarre, but the way they adapt is extraordinary. Follow the evolution that leads to survival of the weirdest. All new next Monday at 8. Part of Call of the Wild Mondays, only on Discovery Family.
When you find raise this barn, 1, 2, 3, 4. Together we can raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up, 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 go the beams. Hammer those joints, working team. Turn them around quick by the right elbow. Grab a new partner, here we go. Come on, Apple family, let's get to it. Raise this barn, 1, 2, 3, 4. Together we can raise this barn. Together we can raise this barn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take your brushes, young and old. Together paint it bright and bold. Turn them around quick by the left elbow. Grab a new partner, here we go. We raised this barn, we raised this barn. Yes, we did. Together we sure raised this barn. Yes, we did. Being together counts the most. We all came here from coast to coast. All we need to strive to be is part of the Apple family.
GameFly makes it easier for both us and the parents.
Order the game, get the game, play the game, ship it back.
Are you a gaming family? Then go to GameFly.com and start your free 30-day trial today. Now offering movie rentals. Products shown rated E through E10+.
I love GameFly. It's awesome.
Monday, November 24th on Discovery Family. Before it was the Earth we recognize, it was a very different place. How the Earth got its shapes. Series premiere Monday, November 24th at 8. Only on Discovery Family.
Wednesday on Discovery Family. They have abilities so stunning, they'll leave you speechless.
That is amazing.
My heart was racing.
That's superhuman. All new Wednesday at 10 on Discovery Family.
Eugene and Spencer's been preparing for winter by preserving fruits and veggies, which neighbors were kind enough to share.
Fermentation will keep your produce all the way through the winter, so you got food when nothing's growing.
Eugene and Spencer took a broke-down shed and turned it into a hillbilly wine cellar. For good old-fashioned Applejack, that is. The brew's been setting a spell, and they're itching to see how it's turning out.
Watch that valve release right there. About every 10, yeah, did you see it pop? I think you're good to go.
There are a few visual signs when you're fermenting juice to make some sort of like a hard cider in our case, and that yeast will bubble and expel gas, and that gas will click the little stopper at the top.
The fermenting of the sugar in the apples generates a small amount of carbon dioxide that forms a foamy layer on top of the cider. This makes bubbles that click the stopper and let you know you got hard cider. Now that Spencer and Eugene have made hard cider, they're putting most of it into bottles. They're going to save some to freeze and turn into Applejack.
All right, that's the last one of those.
Well, let's freeze this bucket outdoors overnight, and that'll separate the water from the alcohol. Just sit it out there on the pallet, man. It'll freeze hard right there up off the ground.
We're going to set our hard cider just out in the cold. It's definitely going to freeze hard tonight. And that freezing process will separate the water from the alcohol, and it'll give us a real punch of a drink.
Folks in these parts don't usually wish for cold weather, but if the thermometer don't dip below freezing, the boys are going to end up with a bucket of mush. They've got to give their brew a night out in the frost before they can give it a taste.
I'm going to be busy until tomorrow afternoon, so I'll see you tomorrow evening.
All right, tomorrow night it is. Save some of those for me.
Oh, I will.
Came walking up on Eugene's shack out there in the pasture, and he's got a fire going, and we're just ready to have a nice little evening here under the stars.
You didn't get into this without me, did you?
No. It's frozen solid, though.
It is frozen solid. That's perfect. If you want to pull out a knife and stick it in there, I'll go grab that gallon that we saved.
Eugene releases the Applejack by breaking up all the ice with his knife. The boys end up with a nice drink, about 30 to 40 proof alcohol.
Yeah, bring that over here, man. Look at that.
Some honey-colored gold right there.
Looks good.
Let me try it. Oh, yeah, that's good. Whew. Damn, that stuff's got a kick.
Yeah. You drink enough of this stuff, you don't mind sitting in the middle of the smoke. You can't buy nothing like that at the store.
Nope.
You know, these hills got a lot of other treasures than just gems and gold and stuff.
Yep.
Right, here's one of them.
The boys finally get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Nothing goes to waste up here on Cold Mountain, especially not friendship.
Yeah, give me another snort of that hooch.
Doesn't get any better, brother.